think it's safe to say that all of us have experienced stress at some point in our lives. Think about your job, your family, paying bills, fixing the car, the leaky roof, the price of gas, the price of food, marriage, divorce, new children, the empty nest, laundry, dishes, grades, soccer, baseball, politics. They all combine to send our stress level through the roof. So, what is stress? One definition of stress is a force exerted upon a body that tends to strain or deform its shape. A more medical definition would be a physical, mental, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension. When you say, "I feel stressed," you probably mean you're feeling tired, irritated, overworked, exhausted, depressed, tense, disappointed, whatever. The truth is, stress is with us all the time. As we will learn in this course, stress is not just a negative, even though we tend to think about it that way. Problems only arise when we have more or less stress than is healthy. There are two types of stress. Distress is negative. It's a negative response leading to stress overload, weakness, and vulnerability. Eustress is positive. It's a positive response to life stressors, a growth-enhancing reaction to the stress of everyday life. Think about stress as our constant companion. If you say, "I have a temperature," you don't mean that normally you don't have a temperature. Rather, you're saying you've noticed that your temperature is higher than normal. When we say, "I feel stressed," it simply means you have become aware of your stress level. When a person is subjected to a stress-producing event, known as a stressor, it is registered in the brain. The brain then gives various parts of the body instructions for a chain of different reactions, known as a stress reaction or a stress response. The truth is, we all have an internal stress management program of which we may be completely unaware of. The trick is to become more conscious of our natural coping behaviors. In this course, we will concentrate on heightening our awareness of these natural internal stress responses and the behaviors that accompany them. The best way to manage your own stress is to understand your unique personality style. Different people are stressed by different things and will react to stress in different ways. So, we need to start by understanding the different personality styles and finding out which style best describes you. Let's start by taking all the people in the world and dividing them into two major groups, active and outgoing, and the other passive and reserved. The active styles are outgoing, optimistic, and outspoken. They like to take the lead. Their pace is fast, and they like to do many things at once. The passive styles are more reserved, more cautious, and soft-spoken. They like to analyze the situation before jumping in. Their pace is more measured, and they like to complete one project before starting another. We can further divide the world into task-oriented or people-oriented people. The task-oriented people are all about getting things done. They're goal-oriented. They like to be organized and have a plan for everything. They believe there is a right and a wrong way to do things, and they get their joy from their accomplishments. People-oriented people are all about relationships and feelings and emotions. They're empathetic, more easygoing, and carefree. They don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and they get their joy from the people in their lives. If we took all the people who are active and task-oriented, we could describe them as dominant or direct. Let's call them the D styles. If we took all the people who are active and people-oriented, we could describe them as influencing or inspiring. Let's call them the I styles. Everyone who is people-oriented and passive or reserved, we can describe as steady or stable. Let's call them the S styles. And finally, everyone who is passive and task-oriented, we can describe as compliant or correct. Let's call them the C styles. These are the people who make up our world. They're your neighbors and coworkers. They're your bosses and employees. They are, in effect, the biggest cause of stress in your life. Let's take a closer look at the different styles. The person who cuts you off in traffic, that's the D style. Dominant, direct, decisive. These are all about the goal, and woe to the person who gets in their way. The person who talks to you on the plane, in an elevator, in the waiting room of a doctor's office, while you're trying to get your work done, that's an I. If they start a conversation with, "Hey, true story," or "a funny thing happened to me," they're probably an I style. Influencing, interacting, interested in people. The person who prefers to go places with their friends or family, any place really, the movies, the bathroom, the dentist. If anyone has ever asked you to come with them to a root canal, they're probably an S style. The person in front of you in the grocery store checkout line with an envelope full of coupons pointing to the sign that reads "Double Coupon Day," that's probably a C. The person who lets you know that you filled out the wrong form, so you'll need to fill out a different form and go back to the end of the line, that's a C. And the way you interact, communicate, and relate to these people is going to have a huge impact on your level of stress.